Hey y'all, welcome to Wild Blue. Now let's look at all the strange things that are going on over this last week. So first up, we got the Kamburgas video. Now this came from 2008 in Turkey. This is a real crazy one here, check this out. You got this video.
This is the video, it's called the Kamburgas video.
There's UFO here floating over this city here in Turkey.
You can see the occupants.
Now you can see inside there, they got the craft opened up. You can see right in there. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on, but it almost looks like there's people in there. You see those alien looking creatures in there. You know, I'll do a whole nother video on this at some point, but it really looks like you got some other beings in there. And I've seen analysis that breaks down what these creatures are doing in there, and it's almost as if they're probing someone. It's like they got someone lying on a table in there, and it's the person they've abducted who's being experimented on, and who knows what other crazy stuff these aliens are doing with those people up there. We'll pause it right here at the moment of, you see those figures there cleared up a bit. Another image of them right there, and there's one of them. And this definitely will require its own video here in the future. That's the only way we're going to break this down and figure out exactly what's going on there, but there it is. Alright, here we got another UFO sighting here. Now this one appears to be on a truck being hauled away for experimentation or studying by the people who have it here. Let's take a look at it. So you got the police escort, you got the oversized load vehicle there, and then what in the world is that? Got some sort of UFO shaped object there. Hard to tell what it is from the video because it's covered up, wrapped up in this tarp thing, but it does have that characteristic shape you would expect to see a UFO have. It's got the dome shape and the round saucer-like shape. It's hard to tell, you know, it could just be industrial equipment that's been wrapped that some way resembles a UFO, but you don't really know for sure. Alright, next up we've got one called UFO Battles. This is in Nevada, February as well. Let's take a look at this. We got some lights flying at each other. It looks like something out of Star Wars. These lasers are shooting at each other. There's a big one right there, and they just keep going back and forth. You can't see any sort of craft that these lights are being launched from, but you can tell kind of where they're coming from. But you know, it may just be reflections from something you can't actually see in the video, maybe something just outside of frame, and at that point it'd be the person who's filming this, their fault for not framing the video correctly. Alright, got another UFO sighting here. Looks like similar to the last one with some lights flying back and forth. Take a look at that. Now almost looks like some kind of fireworks being launched off. You know, I actually think that's an A-10 Thunderbolt. You just can't see it. This guy's freaked out for no reason. Well, maybe he should be freaked out because it's firing its Gatling gun as it's coming right in his direction. That is pretty terrifying, but it ain't exactly out of the ordinary as far as UFOs go. It's just out of the ordinary, as you know, you usually don't see these sort of aerial combat techniques being performed outside of a war zone or a training ground. You know, maybe this guy's right on the edge of a training ground, but you know, what's he doing there so close to the firing line? Well, I wouldn't want to be there. Next up, we got a ghost sighting. This one's called Witch Cemetery, Ghosts in the Old House. Let's take a look. I haven't watched this one, so it could very well be something fake, something we're wasting our time on. But you never know at first glance, so we'll just have to see exactly what this is. Now, it's a long video here. We certainly ain't gonna watch the whole thing. We're gonna skip to the good parts, if there are any. See if there's anything worth seeing here. They've got like a whole sort of seance set up here. They're trying to invite this stuff in. Not something that I really feel comfortable doing. You know, you never know what you're gonna let in when you start opening these doors like this. See, I think we got some electronic voice phenomenon here, some EVPs. Yeah, these guys are speaking in Russian. The ghost apparently just said he's gonna kill him. I think this guy running the video is trying to trap the spirit. I do want to say that the editing on this is very nice. You got the whole creepy atmosphere going. You got the ceiling starting to cave in here. You know, this is very similar to that other video they posted on the other video I did last week, I think. Which makes me think this is sort of one of their shticks, you know. They come into this supposedly haunted house, and they're walking around trying to communicate with these spirits. You got these old abandoned buildings, and they have their final act, the ghost caving in the ceiling on them. Very well done, but also kind of discrediting to them that the ghosts would do the same thing regardless of location, regardless of who they believe these spirits are. You know, maybe that's just their thing. They try and trap the ghosts under the piles of rubble, but you know, ghosts can fly through walls, so I don't know how effective that would be in capturing them. But you know, I think we're gonna move on from this. I'm not too convinced with what we've just seen here. Let's move on to the next one here. Exploring the haunted halls of the Trial Bay Jail. Let's see what this is. I think they're just doing some sort of video tour of the area. I don't think they're actually looking for ghosts right here, but still take a look at it. You know, this is apparently a haunted place. That almost looks like a kangaroo right there. I guess we're in Australia. Kind of looks like any sort of fort from the 1800s that was built. That style of architecture, very old and falling apart, but not so old that it's just become ruins. But you know, these places have all kinds of histories, all kinds of hauntings connected to them. Alright, this one's called Haunted Handyman. This person is a handyman or handy woman, so it would be. That goes to these houses that are being renovated and sold, and she sees some strange things, so let's check it out.
An empty house that was being put on the market. I got the key out of the lockbox and went inside, and I felt drawn to go down the basement. Now, I didn't have any work to do down the basement, and I never really look around the houses I'm working in, but I felt an overwhelming need to go down there.
She felt the need to go in the basement. Apparently some spirit was drawn in, is what she believes.
The back sliding door was calling to me somehow. I walked back upstairs, and I heard a loud sigh and a crying sound. I called out in case somebody...
Alright, so it ain't a video, it's just someone talking over it. I'm sure this handyman is probably actually a man. They're just having a female narrate the video.
been murdered in that house. Each one shot multiple times.
But apparently the
Killed in the basement.
spirit is that thing in the sliding glass door there. Looks like you got two eyes, looks like some kind of Jawa from Star Wars. Got some glowing eyes. Looks like a trash bag over someone, maybe. Let's move on to our next one here. This one's called Infrared Camera Arrived Over the Weekend. Didn't take long to capture something. See what they captured here. You got him sitting here watching TV, it seems. You got something moving there. Her drawer opens. You know, I got my drawers opening all the time. It was more to do with the drawers were badly put together. Not by me, but by someone else. So who knows? Maybe you ghosted this, or maybe they just got some poorly made drawers. You also see a cat right there. And cats are notoriously mischievous and getting into stuff and possibly opening stuff up like that. Maybe the cat was even in the drawer. So my cat used to do the same thing. He'd get into drawers and, you know, would sleep in there. So maybe this cat's doing that same sort of deal. But it is, you can kind of see in the early part of the video, it's just sort of standing there off to the side. So that may not be the case here. Let's check this one out right here. Bigfoot chases man on ATV. He's coming up here. He's got like some kind of tree blocking the road here. That seems like some sort of Sasquatch behavior there. Blocking the road. You know, they're notorious for making tree structures. They continued driving along here. And this occurred June of 2021, so it's a couple years old. You see something running in the background there. Is that their friend in a costume? Was this all choreographed just in the right moment to catch this thing here? I think that's it for the video. Let's take a look at that Squatch again, or person in costume, you don't know for sure. You see this figure running there. Very tall and thin, not your broad-shouldered Squatch. One thing I notice it lacks is any kind of muscle definition. And that's a hallmark of a good Squatch sighting, is seeing the musculature underneath the fur moving. You know, I'm just not seeing that here. It just looks like one solid mass of, almost like a blanket over this person in the shape of their silhouette. I don't know if I'm convinced by that one. Apparently this guy's found a Bigfoot too. Just see a figure kind of standing there, their silhouette. Hard to know for sure what it is. You just see it leaning from the tree there. Could just be another tree, to be honest. It's gone. It's like something out of Scooby-Doo where the ghost or whatever, the monster, is hiding behind a pole that's about 3 inches thick. You know, this thing just disappears into nowhere. So I think that about wraps it up for this video. If y'all like and subscribe, check out our website and check out our Facebook page. And with that said, Wild Blue out.